one thing with the electric supercars, race cars, whatever, that I feel like you miss from a regular internal combustion engine is like the soul of it, which is like the sound,
right?
The raw, your turbo noise, your motor, whether it's your 4-cylinder V8, or V12s and stuff, like you miss that with them. Because that Audi, I think you had a video of that Audi. As cool as it is, 670 something horsepower, all-wheel drive.
Yeah, this
Audi
Dakar
rally car.
Yeah,
you would picture this thing to be like the meanest sounding thing in the world.
Yeah,
and
let's sounds like an RC car.
So disappointing. It's so disappointing.
Welcome back to the Third Pedal Podcast. This week, we kind of wanted to pick up a little bit of what we talked about last week with these alternative power sources, alternative engines for cars, and kind of shift back. Like we've done this in the past where we talked a little bit about like electric in motorsports and other these kind of new developments with the motorsports world. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't think we've talked about it much on here, but like Ken Block's whole partnership with Audi and doing all these crazy collabs and everything. But since I'm a Subaru person now, I don't know if you saw this what was it called? The STI E-RA. That's an STI E-RA concept car. It's an electric. So RA
that sounds awesome.
Stands for record attempt.
Oh, boy.
So basically they're trying to
that's not
push
it.
forward. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This is a new Subaru electric record attempt car.
It looks like a BRZ and a Koenigsegg had a baby.
Right.
I also don't know if I said that correctly.
I don't think anybody says it correctly,
right, cool.
Except the founder. I watched a documentary with him and like how he says it. I think it's like Koenigsegg. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. Yeah. And
it's too simplified.
I'm like, hey dude, you used too many letters for that word.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so for people listening, how do you describe this car? It kind of looks like it's kind of McLaren-esque, right?
Yep.
But then there's a big scoop on top of the cabin that kind of reminds me of the early, like the TDI. What is it called? The R18, the TDI hybrid Audi, whatever it is, Le Mans car, I think.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like that,
or the roof scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
very,
it's got
very aggressive though.
Here we go. They borrowed some from Ford. I'm seeing a lot of Ford here. So they have 2022 Ford Raptor headlights, right? The big wraparound.
I was going to say like a Ford GT.
And then 20 whatever the years Ford GT front end and hood.
Yep.
Those hood scoops are super Ford GT.
Kind of has my Forester headlights.
Oh, it does have
a little bit.
That makes a little more sense.
It does look Subaru-y. Like it kind of has Impreza in the front. I love that the STI logo is glowing. Doesn't matter at all, but I think it's cool. I don't know if you noticed this. The fenders.
I see that.
The fenders scoop over the wheels and they're exposed to the inside. It's really neat. And then there's the big air dam, which I think I just watched a whole video about Ken Block's Electricana car, and it's the same. I think this is a pass through from the bottom here up over the car because they're trying to take advantage of because there's not an engine in the front anymore.
Right.
They can use increased aerodynamics.
You
on the
can
front
basically
end.
give it like IndyCar aerodynamics, right? Because if you look at that as a pass through, if it's like that super flat lip, and then you're just creating a giant ramp.
Right. You just have a giant front wing to the car.
Yep.
So this is basically what they're going for here. And I'm going to say this wrong. I say it wrong every time. They're going for a Nürburgring record. They want to beat they set their goal in here somewhere. They want to do a 640 lap time around the Nürburgring in 2023. And then they also want to run laps around various circuits across Japan this year in 2022.
So 640 lap time. What could we compare that to? Like, so to put it in perspective, it's 13 miles.
Jeez.
So 13 miles of a track, and they want to do that in 6 minutes and 40 seconds?
That's insane.
All right. So not S3, not what I've got, but Audi RS3 did the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wow.
So a whole minute, that doesn't sound like that much of a difference, but a whole minute faster on a racetrack is insane.
We'll put it in perspective. Let's give a 10 second moment of silence here to illustrate how long 10 seconds is. Okay. So let's say a car whips past the finish line now. Still waiting. And the next car.
You lost by a lot.
That's a lot.
In that case.
That's a lot. And so that times 6. I mean, that's a long time.
So could you find anything?
Okay, so here we go. So I found the lap time. So this is from Wikipedia. So disclaimer on however old that may be. But sorted fastest to slowest. So there's a 911 GT2 RS in 2021 did it in 6:38.
Holy cow.
So that's going to be
Faster.
within 2 seconds of this electric car. An Mercedes AMG GT Black Series did it in 6:43. Lamborghini Aventador did it in 6:44. Another 911 GT2 RS, 6:47. I forget. So recently, didn't they do this with the Porsche electric car?
I thought so. I looked up Porsche.
Oh, I can't remember what that was. I just saw an article about that.
What's that one called again? The electric Porsche.
The Taycan. I think I said that wrong too. We're just on a roll of saying wrong things.
S.
Yeah, I found what that was. 7:30.
Yeah.
7:30. So they're gonna beat it by a minute.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
Wow.
So the article for this is pretty cool too. So they say because it's a Subaru, they can't stick with just powering one of the axles. So it's still going to be all-wheel drive. It's still going to have essentially. It's not going to be the same asymmetrical drive, but a similar all-wheel drive system. But
it's going to have opposing battery packs. Like they're facing outwards.
That'd be pretty cool.
Just to like keep it OG.
It's got the Boxer battery packs.
Yeah,
in it.
right.
That's funny, dude. But no,
they put that in the back. It's like 4 C batteries. It's
they
just
have
real small.
4 fast chargers that stick off the ends. So they're gonna go for a whole bunch of different record attempts with this. It looks. I know they just released their first electric car too. Subaru released like an electric crossover.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously trying to get in that world along with everybody else. But they built this to, I wasn't familiar with this. I think it's a new class, the FIA E-GT class, which is going to be a new electronic Gran Turismo class of racing that's going to be coming up. I think in 2023, they're starting that series. But this is going to be racing in that too.
That's
There's going to
crazy.
be, builds from all other manufacturers doing that. So that's going to be nuts. I was reading a little bit into that about like fast charging technology and things like that. But
well, that's going to be the holdup, right? And that's like probably a lot of people's concern with electric cars is like how long it takes to charge,
right?
Because like, if you forget to fill your car up with gas, you go to the gas station, you spend 5 minutes, you're good to go.
Right.
But
that's a regular pit stop thing too. They've got, they have the jug with the specified amount of fuel that they want for a certain number of laps because they're trying to optimize weight versus longevity, and so they just go in, drop it in, it pressures in, and then that's all you got.
Yeah,
you can't really do that with electricity safely.
Yeah,
I mean, even when we were at SEMA, Ford had a booth, so they had their burn yard where they do, they have Mustangs drifting and they have stuff like that going on. So they had their it's something with the Mustang. What do they call it?
I forget the name. The Mustang Mach-E.
Oh, Mach-E. That's what it's called. So they had one of those doing a drift demo, and it was sounded super weird.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because it would go probably half as long as the Mustangs would go. I'll cut a video clip in here so you guys can hear it because it's nuts. But it would go and do its little drift, and then it would sit over there and charge for like the next 2 or 3 runs, and then it would have just enough juice to come out and do that again. It's really interesting. I don't know what they were using to charge it. It was a pretty big industrial looking station.
Well, if that's what would that be between runs? 15 or so minutes? Or longer?
It wasn't that long.
Oh, really?
No, I would say maybe 10 minutes between runs because they were running these things pretty frequently.
I wonder if it was at full at start. And then they were just juicing it back to full each time.
Yeah, they
were
must
like
have
close enough to keep it going.
Yeah, because isn't it that in the top percent, whatever, it can do that fast charging?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, the fast charger.
Yeah.
I'll look that up.
But yeah, it was crazy. So this is super interesting. It was cool to see. I mean, the profile of this car too. Like, look at the back end of this car. And again, for those listening, highly recommend watch this episode on YouTube. We'll cut in some pictures of this thing, but it's unreal. It's nothing like picture every Subaru you've ever seen and then throw that all out the window.
Yeah, it's nothing like the closest resemblance would probably be to the new BRZ. I would say.
Yeah.
But even that's only because that's a coupe.
Right.
Like, that's
it's like saying NASCARs are Camrys,
Right,
it's like,
it's along the same lines. Yeah.
But
the stickered headlights.
Exactly.
So fast charger, just to bring it back to that, the Tesla supercharger does 15 minutes fast charge to 200 miles. So not full charge, but 15 minutes for 200 miles. So that's pretty good. Pretty fast.
That makes sense. Yeah. So I'm curious what this is that's because you're right. That's the breakthrough moment. We've talked about that on here before of that. If you can get quick storage, if you can get quick energy storage into an electric car, that's going to be the thing that makes this a lot more feasible. Because I think that's the thing holding a lot of people back is, I mean, even, I've thought about it before of getting an electric car for whatever, but I don't like that I'd be limited that way, that I have to wait for the thing to charge now. And that the hydrogen powered car that we looked at last week,
it's like a
couple
cool
weeks ago now, yeah, that seems like a cool in between of, okay, now you have instant refuel capability, but then still a more sustainable energy source. But yeah, this thing looks cool. So the combined output, to kind of cap this off, they're shooting for 1,073 horsepower between the 4 electric motors. I'm interested about the 3. That
the
seems
3
hyper specific. No, 1,073 horsepower. Seems hyper specific. Yeah, you were gonna say something.
Okay, the horsepower with electric cars, it's like, it seems like it should be a different, like they should rate it in kilowatt or whatever, because it's just totally different.
Right.
Because yes, it's 1,073, but it's 1,073 at like 2 RPM. Right.
It's 1,073 now.
Yeah.
It's not at 6,000 RPM.
Which I guess that's what the graphs are for and stuff like that, to show how fast it comes on and everything.
Right. But yeah, when you think about that, you look at like a dyno chart of any engine. You're starting very, very low, even on high power builds, and it's not until you're at 6,000-7,000 RPM that you're hitting peak horsepower and torque numbers.
Have you ever driven a car that has that on the dash, like the horsepower you're making at the moment?
Yes. Yeah.
It's so disappointing.
It's very disappointing.
So we rented a BMW down in, I think it was in Houston. It was just like a 320i. So nothing special.
It's a cool car.
But it had the little horsepower thing on the dash. I'm like, oh, it's cool. And peak horsepower in those, I think, is like 250 or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll get it to peak horsepower. I didn't get it to peak horsepower the whole time. I don't know what I had to do to like launch it or slam it or whatever. But it was in like the 90 to 120 range, like most of the time I was driving. I'm like, this is disappointing.
That's crazy.
You think about that, like say my car, the mods I've done, it's 400 whatever horsepower now. It's like I'm probably in like 150 to 250 range 99% of the time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because unless you're riding on boost, you're hitting red line. Like you're not in that optimum thing. That's a good point to make though. That it's not, your horsepower rating is not
peak
constant.
Horsepower.
Right.
It's like, what is the top end this car can possibly make on the dyno maxed out.
Right. STI E-RA, I think this is really cool. They've done, so the STI E-RA is not a new, it's not a new name for Subaru. They're calling this the E-RA. They've done an STI E-RA with an Impreza before. That actually achieved a 640 something Nürburgring lap time.
Wow.
So this is their first kind of dipping their toes into the e-racing division. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing ended up, it kind of looks like it's set up to be, like it looks like it could do a pretty good hill climb attempt too. I wouldn't be shocked if this does some sort of hill climb thing. I know Travis Pastrana's been doing a lot of like Subaru Motorsport stuff lately. So I would love to see it do some more stateside things too. It looks like so far they're going to do Nürburgring and then a lot of Japanese circuits. But I think seeing it over here on some of the famous tracks would be really interesting.
If they
to see what
could just like edit that a little bit and make it a production car, that would be amazing. I know it wouldn't make sense.
Can you imagine that? Like a Subaru supercar?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. They don't do anything like that right now.
They're not in that lane at all. And this is like stepping into that.
Right.
But I guess every car company has that lane of their whatever LMS cars. Is that the right word for it? IMSA, they have all those race cars, divisions and whatever. Kind of like you're saying, the Camry NASCAR. It's like it's not a Camry,
but that's all through like TRD, like Toyota Race Development. I think that's what that stands for.
Division, I think it is.
Division. So close.
One thing with the electric supercars, race cars, whatever, that I feel like you miss from a regular internal combustion engine is like the soul of it, which is like the sound, the raw, your turbo noise, your motor, whether it's your 4-cylinder V8, or V12s and stuff, like you miss that with them. Because that Audi, I think you had a video of that Audi, as cool as it is, 670 something horsepower, all-wheel drive,
this
Audi rally car.
You
would picture this thing to be like the meanest sounding thing in the world. And well,
let's like an RC car.
So disappointing. It's so disappointing.
Because that's even like my Porsche. We've talked about this before. It's not fast. It's supposed to have 170 horsepower or whatever. So it's probably got 130 now. Like it's pretty bad. But like the feel of it and like the connection that you feel to the car, hearing the engine. Like we did the Stitch challenge on our TikTok channel, which you should definitely go on there. Stitch your cold starts. We'd love to hear what your cars sound like. But like that sound is so much character to a car, and like every electric car I've heard so far, even when we heard the Mach-E drifting,
it's all tire.
yeah, it's you hear tire and then you hear a little bit of RC car stuff happening.
Yep.
It's really, really weird. It just
Like
doesn't
that-
sound like a car anymore.
That Audi though is especially RC because they don't have any of the sound deadening and like all the other stuff to it. It's like everything's just hooked straight up,
Right.
and it's so disappointing.
It is super bizarre though. Like, have you ever heard electric car drifting and stuff before?
Yeah, mostly tire squeal.
Yeah. It's just like it's super. I don't know. It's very disappointing, very weird. Like you just only hear the tire.
Do you have a video from SEMA?
Yeah, I'll stitch
we'll
it in
stitch
here.
it in. Cool.
Earlier when I talked about it, it should be in there.
Okay,
So
cool.
But we'll cut it again right here.
All right, so enough of electric cars.
Yeah.
There is a happy future
Yes,
for
good. There
real
is?
race cars. There is.
Because all I'm seeing is this electric car
No,
stuff. So
there's
give me some hope, Zach.
there's hope. So Ford is I just saw kind of a teaser.
Not super
that's-
encouraged by
I know.
Ford.
Bear with me here. First of all, Ford confirmed V8 for the next generation of Mustang GT.
Ford, you won me back right
Yeah,
there.
so that's great because everything else they're doing pretty much is going to
Ooh.
V6, turbo V6, stuff like that.
Okay.
So they're one that's keeping that going. Now, one thing crazy cool that they're doing for the IMSA 2024 race season is the Mustang GT3 race car.
Okay.
So there aren't a ton of previews for it now. Maybe we can put this little preview over the top. That low profile, you can see more of a swooped front end.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's going to be a little more low profile than the ones
Giant
prior
wing,
to,
too.
and just giant wang in the back.
Jeez. For those listening, yeah, it's a silhouette of it. It says GT3. It's got the Mustang logo, and then it's just a blanket over a car. And it's you see the silhouette of it looks like the standard Mustang cockpit area, but there's something going on in the front end. There's some huge aero stuff going on, and then the biggest wing, the wing that challenges the STI car that we just looked at before.
Yeah, and it's taller. So the wing is taller than the roof of the car,
that's a good point.
or at least right with it. It's huge.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, tell me about this thing.
I don't think there were. I'm trying to see if there are preview photos, the spy photos or whatever.
Sure.
But anyways, it's still going to be powered by the 5-liter Coyote-based V8
Sweet.
developed by Ford Performance. Sorry, I didn't read all these details
No, you're
prior.
good. You're good.
Really, it was just...
Dude, nothing sounds quite like a Coyote engine.
They
have
really
such
got
an
that
interesting
V8 sound dialed in.
Man, it just sounds so violent. Like, say what you will about Mustangs, and I know everybody's got their own stigma towards whatever brand loyalty stuff, but it's definitely crossed my mind more than once to put a Coyote engine in my Porsche because
They just sound
the
so nice.
sound is just.
Yep.
I'm sure you could make I don't know what all goes into that sound or what's happening there. I know there's a lot of differences between the Coyote, the Hemi, and the LS. I know there's a lot of stuff going on there. Don't get mad at us. We're Euro guys.
Yeah,
and
right.
Subaru guy. But I don't know what all goes into that, but man, like the sound of that engine is just something else. It's crazy. And the power potential on them too. And they're putting like if you supercharge that engine, I've seen some crazy drag race videos with a nutty horsepower numbers coming out of those things. It's crazy.
Well, and a lot of that sound too, I think, has to do with the exhaust setup.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like even your Subaru, right? Like the classic Subaru Rumbles, because they have non-equal headers.
Right.
So like it's coming each ignition of the cylinders coming out out of the exhaust ports at a different
it's
time.
All staggered.
So have you heard of equidistant header
it's very
Subaru?
weird.
It sounds so weird. I don't have all the specs of this car. It doesn't look like they've released everything yet.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't look like they're
2024
telling it. They're just teasing that, hey, they're not like while others are starting to say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Hey, this is our last internal combustion engine and all this other stuff. They're like, hey, we're going to be putting a 5.0 Coyote in a couple of years, FYI.
Right, like we're keeping this thing rolling. So there are some spy shots. You can't see a lot. There's not much to describe. It looks like they probably have a different front end setup. Headlights are a little bit typical stuff they do when they release newer versions of a car that's already doing really well.
Dude, I
Different
cannot wait
setups
to
and
see
stuff,
what
but-
arrows on this thing though. This thing looks
that's gonna look
insane.
crazy.
Like looking at it looks like the typical Mustang profile extends here, and then there's some huge like wheel arch thing coming in here, and some integrated mirror. Like this line looks too sharp that I feel like they've got a huge like just extend almost like how they do with the S1. Have you ever seen like the S1 next to normal, like whatever that was, the Coupe GT from back in the day?
Yep.
And it, like you can still see the silhouette of that on the normal one, and then there's just like an extra foot.
Right.
Like
It's just so
flare
much
on either
wider.
end. It's crazy.
So there are obviously GT3 cars of the past for
yeah.
Ford. So I'm gonna have to imagine it's gonna look something like this, but like a lot sharper is my guess, anyways.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
And it makes sense, I guess, if you think about it, that they're not sharing a lot of the details, right? Because it's racing.
Right.
This isn't production. They're not trying to beat people with specs on the sales.
Right.
They're trying to beat them on the racetrack.
That's true.
So it makes sense that they wouldn't want to share
That's
a whole
true.
lot of
That's
that
true.
stuff.
So when do we have to wait till 2024? Man.
Yeah. Which in car language is like the end of this year, probably.
That's true.
Right? They
Yeah, which means what? We'll see spy photos in like a month?
Yeah. Well, there's spy photos now. It's just all wrapped.
That's crazy, man.
So
no, I'm excited. That's cool. That's encouraging for the future.
there's still some hope.
Okay.
It's not all going to be the electric future. Sorry, Elon. But for race cars, internal combustion engines will live on.
It is cool. Like I like the I was going to forget the 918. Isn't that the hybrid Porsche that's got it's a gasoline engine and it's got the electric motors up front. And so it kind of uses that. I think one of the Ferrari LaFerrari, I think does that too. Like I think there's been a lot of that where you can kind of supplement the lack of low end torque.
Well, the Acura NSX, engine. That one was like that too.
Yep. So like it's interesting to see even maybe how that's gonna help a
BMW
little
i8,
bit.
that was a flop though.
Oh yeah,
because that BMW X Drive.
That is what was it X Drive?
I don't know. Probably not.
Technically, it doesn't matter. It's a BMW. So was gonna say, that's probably like I don't like BMW very much. That's one of the better looking futuristic cars I think I've ever seen. Like that car is so I don't know. It looks so iconic.
Have you seen its ugly counterpart?
Oh yeah,
the i3.
Yeah, the one Tyler wants.
Does he want that?
Yeah,
bro. What are you doing?
No, remember we talked about that like on the episode where I was losing my voice, the one that we did audio only.
Yeah,
we talked about that, and he's like, "That's my ideal like city commuter car."
Why?
I don't know.
It's got 4-inch wide wheels. Like that would be the worst thing.
Have you seen the Marvel movie Shang-Chi?
No.
Okay, so there's this scene in it where there's like a bus that's going off the rails and the guy has to like it's crashing, it loses its brakes, it's going downhill or whatever, and they end up running over a bunch of cars, and so parked on the side of the road they have one of the i8s sitting there, and then they have a 944. So they have the two sitting next to each other and they look pristine before, and then the bus comes over and just like destroys them. But it was funny because all the guys in the 944 page I'm on, it's like, 944. They're like, forget the like super expensive cars to the left of it.
Well, you can get those pretty cheap nowadays too, just because they depreciated so much.
Right.
Nobody really wants them for whatever reason.
Right.
That, like you said, they're one of the cooler looking newer BMWs that's out there.
Yeah.
But people are like just not in. I don't. They're low horsepower. They're not performance wise not as good as what they should. The way they look. Yep. But it is kind of funny. I'm sure that's Marvel, right?
Yes.
That movie.
Yeah.
They're like, what are two cheap but like good enough looking cars that we can destroy on set? 944. People think it's a lot more. Well, they are getting a lot more expensive, but people think it's a lot more expensive than it is. BMW i8. People think it's a lot more expensive than it is. Let's put them on set. Let's run them over the train.
Have you seen the video of the guy in the i8? It's like a couple supercars leave the meet and they're like, they drive, and then he comes by and he goes. So yeah, the future of motorsports is not all.
We still
electric.
got gas. Yeah,
we still got gas in the tank.
No replacement for displacement.
I don't know what's wrong with it. I ain't got no gas in it. Why did I do that so well? But dude, on that note, so I think we've got another episode of the Full Send series, right?
Yes,
all right,
absolutely.
Cool. Let's get into some videos here. So for those listening on audio, we'll try to describe what we're looking at here. It's going to be best if you tune into either our TikTok channel. We'll be posting these up. Or you can check us out on YouTube. You can see the clips, watch along with us here. So Zach's got some prepared this week. What do you want to do? 2 of yours and 2 of mine?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right. So just to describe it, so a guy is grinding out, just
like
with an angle
cover.
grinder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, differential cover, probably out of a truck or whatever, cleaning out the inside.
He's like
of it.
cleaning. Okay.
So he's on his knees. He's got full protective gear, right? He's got the full shop suit. He's got the gloves. So like he obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but his grinder's pretty close to his jewels.
There's a low likelihood that this could go wrong.
Okay. That's all I get.
That's all you get. It's a short video.
This is way harder to be on this end of it. So I got to guess make it or break it.
Make it or break it. It's going to go.
Dude,
is it just a guy showing how great he can grind, or is he not going to be grinding for a while?
Oh my gosh. I think for sure he breaks it, but dude, he's got to break it. I think that's going to hurt him bad though.
Let's see.
Oh, geez.
I hate watching it every time.
Oh man. Does he have a GoFundMe that we can plug or anything?
I don't know. We're gonna watch it one more time though.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's stuck in his fist.
Yeah, because it spun all the cloth into it. Yeah, it's stuck right on there.
Wow.
Can't be good.
Oh, that's bad. Have you ever done that with an angle grinder? Had it jump out at you? Like I've never had it hit me, but
me either. But it's scary when it
as soon
jumps
as it
around
catches
like that.
and jumps.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's no good. Do you want to do one of yours next?
Yeah, let me pick one of mine. Okay.
So you gotta adjust
it says it in the title. What's happened? This thing is totaled. You're gonna have to guess how. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm actually not going to show you any of it. He's sitting on the side of the road. Hazards are on. It's in a Mustang. Speaking of new Mustang
Well, the
developments.
hood looks fine, so he didn't blow
True.
the motor out.
True.
What do Mustangs usually break? I thought it was just crowds.
I don't know. I don't see any people here. They could be in the
It's in the middle of the road, or is he in the right side of the road?
He's parked on the side of the road.
Okay.
Flashers are on.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna guess he drifted, and so break it. Obviously, I'm gonna guess he drifted and lost a wheel, or so, like smashed on the curb, lost the wheel, and he's parked on the side of the road.
Okay.
How close am I?
Well, boys.
Oh, where's the transmission? Wait, what? Is that the road?
That's the drive shaft there. Yeah.
How?
I think she's totaled.
This is a sneak peek of the look at that. The Ford performance engineers testing the new GT3 motor.
Yeah, we found some footage of it out in the wild. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that drastic of a failure.
There's
This is like the
that's the
that looks
cement
like
beneath.
the this rubber piece is like the bushing. It looks like that holds the transmission up.
Yeah.
Shifter's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no, gone.
Actually, is that the?
Oh, it is. You're right. That's the knob. That's the knob. Can you imagine how terrifying that would have been?
Dude,
Like just
grenade your transmission.
Just first, second, go to third. Just hold the knob. It's gone. Oh man.
Hot shifter.
Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
That's
funny.
insane. All right.
Yeah, you
My
pick
turn.
one now.
So we all like to work on our cars ourselves,
I think I've seen
right?
this one.
Okay. So
I almost did this the other
look
day.
at his dog helping him out too. It's like, I'll help you out.
Yeah, this dude just in the garage, jacking up the front of his car. He's probably got all the parts sitting on his desk. He's probably all ready to go.
These are nice wheels too.
They are nice wheels.
This is a nice setup actually. What is this, like a RX 350 F Sport or something like that?
Yeah,
it's a Lexus.
Lexus, right?
Anyways,
I don't
so
know
he's
much
probably
about those.
jacking it up, changing the wheels.
It was at this moment.
Hear that creaking?
Oh, dude.
Jack points don't do that.
Okay, you got to watch it for the whole creaking because his response to this is amazing.
Yeah. Okay,
I
back it
feel
up.
so bad for this guy.
I know. It's like, oh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Such a bad day. There's nothing louder than
Oh, that
a jack
cracking.
sliding across the floor.
Right?
Oh my god.
It's so loud. All right.
Dude, that
So terrible.
Oh, that video's so bad. All right. All right, I got one for you.
That Saturday changed.
Dude,
The
did
plans changed that day.
That's it's like the that plaque or whatever that no, what was it? It's a saying that like every 30-minute job is one strip bolt away from being an 8-hour endeavor or
Right,
something like
yeah.
that. But dude, I don't know what you do at that point. What?
Well, you have body, so you can at least change the side skirt out because that's fiberglass,
Right.
obviously.
But
By
do
the
you
way,
think so?
creaked
Do
or
you think he
whatever.
was jacking from the side skirt, or was he like partially on the pinch weld, or do you think he
Well-
went through the pinch weld through the floor? Because that's what
Oh,
I
good
pictured
point.
doing in my Subaru.
I'm just gonna turn the sound off.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the
It's too sad.
thing again.
So it does look like it.
Oh my god!
No, you know what though? I think it slipped.
Oh, you're right. I
So
bet
I
he was
think
using
it's-
one of those jack pads on there, and it just
I bet
tipped
it's
off.
on the jack point, and then right here. it
Oh,
slipped.
you're right. It goes back, and then it just has nowhere to go. Oh, he bends the door and stuff too.
Yep. Yes.
He's got a lot of
look at
stuff
the
to
door-
replace.
The door panel flex. So you got the door panel. It looks like this.
It probably jacked up the fender, the door, and the sills.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
And potentially some of that underbody
Yeah.
frame too. That's a
Oh,
bummer.
that's just such a bad.
It's a
Because the
bummer.
poor guy, like, it's not. There's none of this is hating on him. We could have all done the same
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Using the
Well, you
jack
said
pad
you
and
were
everything.
almost there recently.
Oh man, I was so nervous because I started jacking and it made that sound. And this clip is the only thing that went through my head. And I just like, and I don't have one where like you can just turn the handle, like you have to pull it out and then go
Oh,
to the
yeah.
release thing
Yep,
and go.
like,
So I was like, no, got the thing down because it was when I was starting the timing belt job. So I
Yeah.
got same thing, got all the parts out, got it all ready to go, read all the things, had to print it out like DIY manual for it and everything.
Yeah.
Because like everything, I don't know, we're all like one slip jack stand away from something
Yep.
like that happening.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it's bad. Okay, I know which one I want to show you now. So this is a little bit longer clip, but I gotta play a little bit of the beginning and then I'll
Okay,
pause it before
let's
the
see it.
moment here. What do we
Wow,
think's gonna
he's
happen?
going fast.
Make it or break it.
I'm gonna go.
So it's a hill climb video, obviously.
Yeah,
he's,
yeah.
He's doing a hill climb.
Is that traffic, or is that another racer? Do you see this?
I didn't notice that before.
That made my stomach turn when I saw that. You ever been going fast and then?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna guess break it.
Break
I
it.
think he's going off, which
All
I
right.
hate to say because this looks like a really nice car.
I'd exit too, right?
Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Good. It's good. Oh. How long is this? Wow.
He makes it.
Oh, that was stressful.
I
the
just
whole
figured
time.
I'd put you through some stress there. Though.
That's like
Yeah,
the
no, he
audio.
makes
It's like,
it.
that's enough slices. Like every single little jump and turn. Like, that's good.
Oh my gosh. I think that's what we got for this week's episode. But yeah, submit your videos if you've got a fail video, make it or break it video, something you want to submit in. We'll watch for the first time on air here.
Yeah,
Have
send
our
it in.
reactions, but even better if it's yours. But if you just find one, shoot it to us. We're on TikTok at Third Pedal Podcast. We're on all social media networks. Or email us as thirdpedalpodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, that's what we got for this week's episode. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.